Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is an episode 182. How many times today you have looked at your phone and you have seen 1111? Or how many times you have been sitting in a car right now and you see right in front of you 222, 888, 717? And how many times you've been in the middle of a completely random day, you are just sitting, folding laundry, speaking to a friend, and all of a sudden you feel the pull. You feel that something is communicating with you. You see something. You see 222 on your phone. Somebody sends you a message, the bill. And you feel something you cannot explain and something you cannot name it yet and you don't know how to explain it. And here is what actually most people do in that moment. They feel it, they Google it, maybe you find thousands of articles in a way, you screenshot the number. You send it to your friend. You say, you see, it's happening again. And you go down into the rabbit hole at 2 a.m. of thinking what it is, what am I feeling? But then what starts to happen, you start to wait. You start to hope. You start to obsess about it. What's going on? And then you start feeling that this is all pointless and none of this made sense of it. And why do I feel this again? And you see that repeating number over and over and over again. So, is there any connection between? As many of you who have been following me before know that I'm going to talk today about the twin flame journey of how do I read the frequencies and auras while you had the call with me. Many of you who have set the call with me, and after the call I tell you, I see this number in your frequency. And many of you pull it back and go, how did you know that I'm seeing this number? I've seen this everywhere. Why is it there? Normally, of course, the 1111 is one of the calling energy inside of us. In our group, currently there is this big mysterious number 717, and that is all over the place. And I do have an explanation for this in a certain ways. I will talk about this at the end of it. But if you have seen 717, I will tell you that your chances of being on this journey are quite high. So welcome, my 717 twin flame journey. So here is something that no one is actually telling you. Those signs or those numbers, the feelings, none of this is random. And I'm going to walk you through today to realize that this is not a random, and you will see the examples that bring you a clarity of realizing something is communicating with you. And that's what we're going to do today. Right before I'm going to go into this, I'm just going to also say that last week, one of the soul said that they cannot attend our Italy retreat in end of June now, 26th of June until 2nd of July. If any of you is interested and feels that the divine is calling Italy, the signs are Italy here, the number is telling you to come, then I would highly recommend you to get in touch with me, twinflameawakeningjourney.com. We are going to be a beautiful group of people, and yes, so feel free to, if you would like to take that spot from that person. So as I said, welcome back to our beautiful episode over here, and we are gonna talk all about the aura, all about the frequency, and why does the universe actually sending you these repeating codes, and what you're supposed to do with that. I have an episode out there that explains about the 1111, 222, 333, but today I'm going to explain about something that has no information. You can Google about it, you can ask the AIs, you can go deep into. This is something I did develop by myself over and over again. That's why when you have booked a call with me, you often see that I am with the headsets. The reason I'm on the headsets is because I'm listening to your voice. I'm listening to your frequency. I've been asked these questions millions and millions of times. Do I see the auras? And when I say, yes, I do see auras, people think I see all the colors and all of this. I do see in certain ways, but what I see the mainly is, again, the frequency number. It's very interesting that, and that helps me to read people very quickly. Is that overwhelming sometimes? Yes. And so sometimes I close this down when there is no need for this. I try to stay away from it, meaning of that it's like, it's not my business, it's not me, let it be. But sometimes it's there for a reason. It's like I always say on this twin flame journey, once you have seen it, you cannot unseen it. Once you have felt it, you can't just let go of it and tell this never happened. It doesn't work this way. So I go from the very beginning of the foundation to tell you that everything is a code. And I want to bring this in for you to realize that the fact that we are seeing 1111 or 717 or 2222 or 8888 right now looking at you is not just a random. I used to believe that was random, and now and I didn't also know how to see the frequencies on the people. Now I see that we are like a computer code. So, like I said, I walk you through that to give you just a perspective. So I start with the science, because when we hear about the science, then all of a sudden we feel, oh yes, because the science says so. Again, I'm going to repeat you are the science. Listen to your heart. Your heart knows more than any other scientific paper. Science has been wrong in the past, and science might not be able to see the future at the moment, but your heart knows, and that's why you are here today, and that's why you're listening to this part. But let me break it down, why I want to talk about it. So here is something I really want you to consider, and just look at your life. Look at right now, everything on the structure of your life, and tell me how much of it runs on a code. Just for a moment before I'm going to tell you, think of it. Everything around you, how much runs it on a code? Whatever your answer is, let it be. But let's begin with your DNA. Let's start with that. Inside every single cell of your body, there is a DNA. That is, I think approximately, I might be wrong over here a little bit, but I remember it was about 2 meters long or something like this. So, but it's so small that is invisible for a naked eye. But we all have a DNA. And why I talk about this, that another day there was a news that popped to me that there was a guy who cured his dog from the cancer by breaking down the DNA, the cells, and sending the code through the AI, and the AI gave exactly what is the medicine that the dog needs in order to fix that part of the DNA, and also the cells from there, and the dog was completely cured. And also, of course, it has the other reason, it has the spiritual one. But we live in this world when the spirituality connects with, especially I know us on the twin flame journey, we often get the very bad reputation because it goes into, yeah, you're lunatics over there, crazy that you can feel the energies, that you see the numbers, that you feel that someone is communicating with you. Another day, I met a beautiful couple from Poland. I have so many Polish beautiful sisters and brothers. Thank you so much. And they wanted to meet me. And while we were sitting there, you can see that everything was already divinely orchestrated. And the more you see it, I just bring a few examples. In the morning, I was asked about, do I know about 717 or 777? Why is it following us? I said, I have my theory, but I don't have the correct answer. The moment later, I go and have a session with, I'm going to meet that beautiful couple. Turns out her birthday is on the 7th of July, 7/7. And I started laughing. Then there was a man passing us by with a t-shirt. 5 times he passed us by going, love always wins. Then, and a moment later, I go out and I see an 888 and I think of a person who has been on our retreats. Immediately I get the message from her as well. So I'm going to say that there is, and I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. So that's why you're here listening to this episode of realizing it's not mumbo jumbo. However, we do get a bad reputation because we are vulnerable and something is awakening inside of us, and we feel a lot of connection towards the person, and we feel love, and that makes us feel crazy. That how can you love someone without knowing them, without all of this? But we shouldn't feel bad about that. We shouldn't feel bad that we are love and we feel so connected. But one of the issue is the obsessiveness. And that's where we're going to go into also today. But I'm coming back to the DNA. So, DNA nobody can see. I cannot break the DNA apart from you, but DNA is there. We all know scientists are working with our DNA. The DNA is there. But is it visible for the naked eye? Can I put it in front of you? No, but it's there. And it's the most fundamental level, a code. That's what it is. And it has, there are letters as well, as we know, the A, T, C, G. Someone can obviously correct me here if I'm not correct. And it's 4 letters repeated in a sequence of, now this I had to look it up, repeated in a sequence of 3 billion pairs. So, and they are instructions. They tell your body what to build, how to repair itself, how to age, and they're literally sending out the code. And now we know also that inside of our body there is a telomere that tells us when we're gonna die, pretty much. The clock stops from there, and when the telomere shortens, we're gonna die, like we're gonna age from there. That is also connected to the DNA. So, but why, when it comes to the Kundalini energy, which I've spoken a lot about and I work with, we become younger, we become healthier, and we become unstoppable? Because you change your, pretty much in that sense, you change your DNA. Now, again, you can argue here that there isn't really a scientific proof of it. And I'm okay with that, because I'm not here to prove anything. But there is a one research that I had to pull it out another day. And so I'm going to bring it out here because that came to me again. Heart Math Institute. Many of you know the Heart Math Institute, and it's generating states of deep love and appreciation. So at 1994, scientists at the Heart Math Institute demonstrated that individuals who are generating a deep sense of love and appreciation, measurable as coherent electromagnetic patterns in the heart, were able to directly influence the conformation of DNA molecules outside of the body. The intention to unwind the DNA caused measurable structural changes. Your emotional frequency is not just felt, it is a physically operational. So, talking of us beautiful twin flames over here who are feeling a lot of pain and a lot of confusion, you shouldn't feel bad about that. It is all a very powerful energy you just received. And when another day I met this beautiful Polish couple, I spoke to that woman whose journey was absolutely, like, it doesn't make any sense. 23 years of age difference. Same, like female to female. There were so many things that none of this makes sense. But the frequency speaks. And then we both were sitting there and I said, do you understand, my beautiful? And she also, that we are being given a gift. We are given such a gift. And no matter how painful it is, and I've said that over my podcast over and over again, no matter how painful this journey is, I would never give it up. And I know how life-changing it is. And that's why I speak about of becoming your higher self. Working with the coherent energy from the heart. The life is going to change. And that's what happens to the people who come to the retreats. That's what happens to the people who come to my workshops, so on. All of a sudden, they came with a reason of awakened love, and they felt something very different. Talking of the workshops and retreats, my beautiful Geminis. It's Gemini month, as we know. And you know it's my birthday month as well. There is a discount code for every one of you who would like to have a discount, 11. So you can use the discount code to have a session with me. There is also, for Patreon members, there is a free sessions to give away as my gratitude of my birthday. So, and on the 14th, if you're listening this on Sunday and 31st, you can join us for the activation to change your frequency. If not, on 14th of June, the day before, we're going to celebrate all of it together with a beautiful, beautiful activation and change. So I want to go back to this, what I just told you. Oh, sorry to say. So it's all of it on Patreon. All the links are in the description, twinflameawakeningjourney.com. Happy Gemini month. Everyone who is going crazy with an information right now and information overload, you need to calm down. Take a little break. Breathe in and breathe out. Yes, let's go back to the science, because of course we love science. But I tell you, you are more science than anything else. But I just bring you the example. I'm going to read you the sentence one more time. The intention to unwind the DNA caused measurable structural changes. Your emotional frequency is just not felt, it is physically operational. So what I'm telling you over here, that what happens when we do Kundalini activations, when we go deeply in a cellular level, that's why we use music, that's why we use energy, because it's deeply cellular. No matter what other people would say, that this is not true, this is not real, wonderful. Come and try, and then let's talk again. You change, and your frequency changes. I have so many examples when people are coming to do their session, the energy activation with me, and I tell them, look, this is what's going to happen here. That's where the frequency is standing at. And they text me back and said, how did you know? So they call me as a psychic, but I'm not a psychic. I read energy. That's all I do. Your energy is going to show me what you're going to get back and what you have to release. That's actually very, very simple. But the method I have worked out might not be as simple, because it requires attention. It requires for me to listen very carefully and see where it is dropping down. That's why on my notes, sometimes you see I have numbers there, I have bullet points there, I have words, because then I put it together from there on. We'll get to that. We'll get to that step by step. And now you'll be wondering, well, why do I talk about this? Well, there's a reason for that as well, and I believe you're listening for a reason. So I want to bring you closer to the fact that, again, like I said, that DNA is one code. Let's go to the next code. Our computers, websites, Instagram that you're using right now, YouTube where you're listening, Spotify, where is it coming from? Where is it built on? On a code. Another code. Everything in the world you do is built on a code. You register yourself somewhere, you get the code. Your passport has a code. If you go to bank and you need to take a number, you have a code. So it's always, everything is a code. Radio, you need to turn into, has a code. Your Wi-Fi has a code. Everything has a code. So are you. So it shouldn't be so surprising, actually, that you keep on seeing the numbers everywhere. I also going to just say to you that in a way, we all have our unique frequency, and we're going to change and shift. We can change that very quickly, and it can happen within hours. So that's why we cannot get stuck on it. And in today's episode, I'm not going to walk you through what 1111 means, what 222 means, what 333 means. I have done an episode about that. You can find that. But I will bring some examples because maybe that's the numbers that is haunting you, and I try to break it down for you a little bit. So now I have a couple of things that I have pulled out because of, again, it's not something, I'm not the biggest fan of when it comes to the science. But sometimes I feel that in order for me to get the trust of yours, maybe it helps, even though, like I said, it's just all that my soul knows and how it connects to. So think about it also for a moment when your heart is the most powerful rhythmic electromagnetic field. And I want to go back to that. The heart has a field. The earth has a field. The Schumann resonance has a field. So, and how do we measure it? With a code. There is no other way. So universe for me is mathematical. And that helps us to understand why do you see the 1111. And again, I'm going back to this heart math because I'm sharing with you what I read another day, and it was very interesting that they have done that. So the heart produces the body's most powerful rhythmic electromagnetic field, and something that you can detect several feet away with a sensitive instruments. So they have done the research on it. So to tell me that it's not real, then my question of the paradox is, what is real? Is what you're feeling towards that other person, or what's happening in your world with those numbers and those connections is not real? So then nothing is real. So I'm going back here and just taking that note from here. Research from the heart math shows that the field changes distinctly as we experience different emotions. It registers in the brain of people around us, and it has been shown to affect cells, water, and DNA. Your emotional state is broadcasting a signal and constantly that influence the world around you at the biological level. And this is not the metaphor, this is physics. So that's from their side now. So now let's go further, as I said. Your location on this planet. 2 numbers, latitude and longitude. A code tells the universe exactly where you're standing right now. When the sound is produced, it's on a specific frequency, a vibration measured in hertz, a code. So when you look your phone, you have a code. Open your front door, the phone is built on a code. You go on a flight, it's on a code. When science needed to build a language for DNA, they built a code. When astronomers or whoever is looking for the stars, how it is, they are reading a code. So somehow we are the video game and the code, so we don't need to question that. But why does it matter? Why does it matter? Because everything that exists in this universe has a signature. It has its own frequency, and so are you have the frequency. And everything except you think you are somehow is outside of that system. So you are in it. So why it matters on your twin flame journey? Because, for example, if you keep on getting something over and over and over again, it is talking to you. It is talking back to you. So now I bring an example how I figured out your frequency. So you come on a call and you start talking to me. And we share, I'm always curious, one of my favorite part of this journey is hearing the journeys. Because there are so many things that are always aligned. I'm going to make an episode also like the most common things I hear and also the most funniest thing I've heard on this journey. So these are coming up for it. So any of you who would like to stay on this channel and hear about what I have heard from other people and what are the most common things and what are not so common. So you come on a call. So of course, the first thing I can tell you a bit about your level of where you are at. That's the very first thing, because of, like I said, twin flames or non-twin flames, or however we want to call it, has a specific frequency. There is something you can see it. I cannot explain it, but you can sense the level of it. And then we go from there. I would ask, when did you meet? What did happen over there? And by the time you are talking of your journey, I am taking the notes. I see you're repeating something a lot over there. So, okay, let me start listening to that part of your body, that part of this. Okay, I get a lot of 222s are appearing here. Many of you know what the 222 means? So the 222 is alignment and union frequency. So currently, your frequency in your body tells you alignment and union is near. Step into it. Stay on this line. Why I say this? Because if your alignment and union energy is telling you it's time to step into that, but with your mind you're resisting the change, it cannot happen. So what you're going to happen is this push and pull effect inside of your body. Because your frequency is telling your union is just around the corner. Go there. Trust your intuition. But your mind says, this cannot happen. This will never happen. Look, they don't love me. This is not there. And now you are changing the frequency. So that's why knowing your own frequency is very, very important. The 222 is not appearing on your twin flame journey just as random. It's really telling it's time for an alignment, time for a union. Are you ready to experience this in 3D? I have to put one disclosure over here. I have not yet decoded the full universe. Every number, every message, everything. And I'm going to be very honest, I don't even want to. It's not an idea of decoding it. The idea is to become one with it. So it's somehow like you are reading a book and now you're creating from it. Or you are placing a code and now it appears in front of you. So I don't know anything about coding on the computers, but I believe some of the listeners I have here who code, when they put the code together, it starts moving. All of a sudden, you have a physical object. You have been dreaming of, let's say, making a website, and you're putting the code and it starts to appear. But now you can do the same within yourself. You code your life. You code your twin flame journey. And I know on this twin flame journey, you can hear over and over again these mind games. Block them, don't think of them, all of this. And what I am telling to you right now feels like a pure, crazy, what she's talking about it. It's a relationship. But I tell you something. If you listen even 5% what I'm telling you, your journey is going to change and shift. And just 5%. You don't have to hear everything I say and how I operate in this world now, but everything is there. But your frequency does not have only 222 now. So I see the patterns. Let's say I start seeing 2, 4, 2, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 7, 2, 4, 5. So there are many numbers. I normally tell you for the activation, the most common one you have, but it doesn't mean you don't have the other ones inside. And the other ones inside of show me where are the so-called blocks into that frequency that you're still holding on to and how we can change them. For example, if you have 999, 999 clearly shows you need to let go of something. You need to release. There has to become a release. You're holding on to too much something. Something is very strongly there. For example, the same way, when I see, let's say 888. 88 is an abundance energy. Abundance is arriving to you. But now I see underlying of that 888 comes in 444, meaning of you're protecting yourself. You don't let it go. You don't let this to happen. So I understand. You're afraid of that step. Protection is good because you're also protected by your guides. but I need to let you to happen with this part of it. So this is what starts to happen. Now, when as I said about it, that it's not only one number that's going to appear. There is a information, and one of the very, very first one, and that's one of the most common signs I see when twin flames are coming to this journey, that they started to see 1111, and this is the activation signal. I've spoken about this as well. I saw this everywhere. And it was so spooky. It wasn't that I looked at 1111 and I felt, doesn't matter. I felt it was talking to me. It was like, look at me. Look at me now. And every time I got every single day I got I stood up from my computer, was 1111. And I knew something is there, but I didn't know what it is. At that time, I had no clue. I didn't know 1111 exists. Didn't know 717 exists that talks to us now. So there was always something. What I am, and I'm going to tell you here about the 7 and 7 one now, what I am thinking, what it is. I do believe everybody has their own ones as well. So I start with 1111. This is the activation signal. Number 1. And this is the number where everything starts. If you have been seeing the 1111, welcome to the journey. Another day, my husband was telling to me, I see this 1111 everywhere. And I told him, I hope your awakening won't be as brutal as mine. And then I laughed. And so anyhow, for most of the people who are on this journey, 1111 is the very first code that starts to come. And anything that you can understand. Then 11 is the master number, mastering. And so it carries the energy of spiritual awakening, 2 mirrored souls coming into alignment. And when you see 1111, you are seeing 2 11 side by side, 2 mirrors facing each other. The universe is telling the alignment, the awakening is happening. You are the signal, but the signal now also requires something from you too. Meaning of, if you're seeing it, it means you need to go where it's taking you. Your life will not make sense if you don't, your life will never make sense, but it makes sense when you live with a code. All right. 717. Our favorite 717. I was asked if I figured this out. I have my theory is that it is a very a second code for the twin flames. It does have a personal meaning for me as well, but I believe it is a telling to us and that we are reaching to the spiritual maturity that is just still coming into a place. So it is exactly a code that we are very, very close to something new and something changing, life-changing over here for everyone. But there is something that we are still holding on to. And 717 is somehow the universe is saying for all of us as twin flames, the time is here. It's time to step into that. But the inner alignment still takes, and I really, really feel that this is a collective energy, meaning of you need to start obsessing today and stepping into your mastery. And that's why many of you, who have been on my retreats, we communicate with this number. So I sense that it's telling us the world is shifting, the life is shifting. The spiritual knowledge that we have is coming to a next stage. Are we ready? Not staying only on a relationship level, but what we have to do as a humans for this earth. So I am just going to say to you that it's a readiness. Are we ready? 717 for me is also, my daughter was born on that day. My spiritual baby. It's everywhere. It's everywhere I see this, and it constantly says, are we ready? And that's why I cannot stop what I do. I just cannot go into a space and thinking, I don't care about this. Why should I do this? Why should I? No, this is my way of service, and the universe is telling to me. And now you will be asking me, like, I live by the code. I really live by the code. It does not make sense to me always full time, but it is making sense to when I take an action towards it. So, and like I said, a number is a frequency confirmation. It is the universe trying to tell you, signal back to you, and it's just not a sign that something might happen. It is a real-time readout of where your energy is at this moment, and whether it's moving or it's stuck. So that's why also when you have a session with me, you have the energy activation. And many of you, I at least have heard back and said, you said it's going to be a roller coaster, but oh boy, what a roller coaster it was. Yes. Because we are aligning with the energy. We are shifting. Today, you can tell me that, you are absolutely crazy. Where is your proof? Where is your this? I say, I don't need proof. I am a living an example. That's all. I don't need any proof. So just go from here. And I want to also bring it in that let's say 1, 2, 1, 2 as well. The mirror path. When you see the mirroring, what is the reason as well? 2 souls on a parallel path, and you're growing simultaneously. So mirrors are often showing you where is your twin flame is at. So when you see 1, 3, 1, 3, you see that both of you are sending love towards each other. Or 13, 13, or you see 14, 14, both of you are protecting your heart. Or you've been well protected, not yet, not yet. Same for, then we go to 17, 17. Are you ready? Are you ready for the next one? Both of you are preparing for the readiness. 18, 18, both of you are stepping into the purpose, to the abundance, all of this. So it is always a mirror. And 12, 12 is one of the most, somehow, the comfort code. Because it gives you that whatever you are doing on your side, they are doing something also on their side. So the growth is not separate. What you are healing, they feel. What you are releasing, create space for them. So 12-12 is a confirmation that the energetic reunion is already underway, long before anything can happen in the physical world. And that's why you go from 2-2-2. So I have made myself very simple when I have a call with you, that I give you only 2. Sometimes there are 2 numbers that are standing out, and I tell the person, you choose, you make a decision. But in general, I look at this, okay, there is this block. So if I had 12-12, I understand. If I see a lot of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 is coming, 4 is coming, 6 is saying, pay attention, I'm realizing, okay. And that somehow makes it very easy. So that's how I read the aura. That's how I read the frequency. Do I see this immediately, if you would ask? Yes, but I always like to listen. I like to have this, like a moment of paying attention to it. And I don't know if everyone can hear it. I don't know if everyone can have this. I don't know that. I don't have the answer for it. I believe that everybody does. Do I know how to teach this? No, not at the moment, because of its very intuitive base. And maybe in the future I will figure this out. So if you're asking for this. 333 energy, those of you who are seeing, it's an alignment, full alignment love energy. I always say, if you see 333, this is when you are becoming the most authentic self. That's where the love is. 3 is an energy of love. And you know, when we make number 3, it's almost like a heart. Write today down, put it down. It's like a heart. So this is an ascended masters, and so this is an energy that you are in an ascending position for the love, ready to receive love. So now here is what I want you to understand also about these numbers. They do not operate independently. They are not a fortune cookie with a exactly fixed meaning. They are responsive. And that is a very important. I'm just going to say again, they are responsive. They show up differently depending on where your frequency is sitting when you see them. So two people can see 11:11 on the same day, but receive a completely different message because they are broadcasting in a completely different frequencies. And this is why when I work people on this journey, I just don't ask like what numbers they're seeing, or I ask how they feel when they see them. Because the feeling, the gut, and also what I meant is not that I don't ask, what I meant that I don't ask what numbers they're seeing. I listen, and I ask more about what happens when they feel them. That's why the talking has such a power as well. And your gut feeling, your gut response, the energy is always more honest than your mind. So think of it that the numbers are the doorbell. Your frequency determines what is waiting on the other side of the door and whether you are ready to open it or not. It's you. I can tell you what your frequency is. It's up to you. Are you going to match or not? I cannot force you. I can't tell you what is right or what is wrong. And now I really want to talk about something that I think most people of this journey don't want to hear. So now we're going into this state of, like I said, sometimes there's information or things I'm going to share that we don't want to hear about it. So, but I'm going to share this because I believe it might happen. On this journey, you always have two options. And they are not twin flame union or no twin flame union. They are not runner and chaser or harmonious pair. Those are just stages. What I'm talking about today is a much more fundamental and something that is going to change your life. And I've said that millions and millions of times. I'm here to help you to become a higher self. I'm here to teach you to read the code. I'm here to become here to tell you about your frequency, how you can change and shift it. Because that's what happened to me. Am I the only one who is the right and wrong here, or I know everything? No, not at all. You choose. You choose what works with you at this moment, and that is the beauty. But I invite you to listen little bit. It's what I'm talking about is how you decide to exist on this journey right now, today, regardless of what is going to happen in 3D with your twin. Option 1, you stay in the loop. And I say with this absolutely, totally with my heart, with my soul, with the knowledge, everything I know, because of myself being on this journey. I understand it inside and out. The loop will look like this. You see a sign, you start feeling hope. I saw 222, that means the alignment is happening. You start to check their social media, what they're doing, what is happening. You start to analyze the last conversation. You start to look at the changes in the behavior, and you see another number. You feel hope again. And something shifts slightly and you feel crushed. Something happens. Something didn't come out as you wanted. So now you try to detach. You say, I cannot, this is too painful, this is not real, I don't like it. And then you see another number again, or you get another sign again. And around you go again endlessly. You are circling in the airport, but you are never landing. So your flight is up there and it's never landing where you're supposed to go. The loop is not your fault. The loop is not your fault, but it is somehow a wake-up call that I don't want to be in this loop. Because the loop is what happens when you're reading the signals without being able to speak the language. So you receive the transmission, the number, the feeling, the synchronicity, but you don't know how to respond to it. So you just read it again and again and again, and you hope that, okay, eventually it will become clear on its own. But now the option 2, you decide that I want to become fluent. I want to be the code that runs inside of the code. And my life might not make any sense because my mind doesn't understand. But there is a code and I'm going to run the code. I've always said to a lot of people that when we go against it, why the governments are like this or why this is and this, I always say, you play the chess with the rules of chess. Because if you don't know how to play the chess, you will not win the game. You can't start playing with opposite because the game is already there. So I said you become fluent, and on Twin Flame Journey also become fluent. And I don't mean it in a spiritual bypass way, meaning of that everything is perfect when it's not. I mean genuinely fluent in your own frequency. Understanding what your energy is doing and why it does, and why is it holding on to, and what is the something that you could release. One of the reasons I love Kundalini activations, and I have always said, why is it so powerful, is because you can trick me with the mind. You can tell me, you can protect yourself, you can hold yourself. I was a master of it, so I know it. I know the other side of it. But the energy doesn't lie. So sometimes after our Kundalini activations, we have anger. We have pain in our body. We feel discomfort. We can feel different things. And you might be wondering, oh my God, something's wrong with me. But when you release, you're going to feel it. One of the ways we release is unstoppable crying. Who has cried on this Twin Flame Journey? Hands up on the comments. Who have cried on Twin Flame Journey unstoppably that you don't know if it's ever going to stop? So understanding what your energy is doing and why it does and what is it holding on to is, and what you could release, helps you tremendously. So learn to read your own code. Not just only the numbers that the universe is sending you, but the signal you are giving back. So, and I want you to be completely honest within yourself here, because this is important. And I said, you don't have to care about this. I really don't force you. But you can, if you change your nervous system regulation, so much is going to happen. Your frequency, so I'm going to say you don't have to care about it, but your frequency is operating whether you are paying attention to it or not. Your electromagnetic field at this moment is broadcasting. Right now it's there, whether you like it or not. And the universe is reading the code. And how do you want this code to be? It's up to you. And I want to go back to one more thing that I took it before of the research, a part of it, because again, like I said, that sometimes we feel more peace when we know that there is a research, even though I tell you that what I just told you is one of the most powerful informations you can ever have. But just because it doesn't have a decades of research, we can misread it and say, well, that's not true, that's not real. How do we have frequency? Who says we have frequency? All of this is mumbo jumbo. Twin flames are not real. Love is not real. The world is not real. I don't believe in any of it. How can we do that? But when you say this out, you sense that something tells you inside of it, it's more real than anything else. And I want to also tell you that it's the fact that when I've spoken about this previous episodes, I highly recommend you to write down the numbers you're receiving, but not in an obsessive way. But the moment when they talk to you, you just put them somewhere, and you will start to see the pattern. And if you do this for a good 1 month, you will see what your energy is telling to me. The blueprint of what each one of them is meaning, I have an episode. I tried to link it over here, but also I tried to maybe make a Patreon post about it so you can copy paste what I have made it up. So I will have one more thing that I want to read from here. So again, what it is saying here, in 1994, again, the National Institute of Health coined a specific word to describe what had been called the human aura for thousands of years across thousands of ancient cultures, and they called it biofield. Who has heard the biofield? A field of energy and information that surrounds and interprets the human body, composed of a measurable electromagnetic energy and what they described as a hypothetical subtle energy. And the same thing ancient Indian, Chinese, Egyptians, and others had calling it different ways. So research published in the International Journal of Applied Engineering Research confirmed that the human body emits electromagnetic field radiations into the space around it. A unique field generated by electrical impulses in the nervous system traveling through the sympathetic and parasympathetic channels. And this field carries information about individual psychological and mental state. So in other words, your aura is your electromagnetic broadcast. It is always on and it is always transmitting. So why I brought this in? Not that I care about science. I do care about science. I'm very interested in all of this. That's why I read these things and everything. But I channel most of my information. When I share this type of things, I'm actually going to say, I'm not telling you some mumbo jumbo, however. It's the truth. And when you step into that, your life is gonna change. And here is what biofield research has specifically found. Different emotions produce different frequencies and signatures. Your life experiences every significant emotional event and appears to be stored magnetically in standing ways with its biofield. So it is in some ways a living archive, a record of you have been radiating out who you are now. And this is very important, and that's why where I go into of changing the why I use so-called Kundalini energy, why I use so-called, we go tapping into nervous system. It's not pleasure. I always say, I understand why people do not want to step into the healing, why they want to play the mind games, why they're hoping that somebody else is going to change. Because it's so freaking painful to change that biofield first, because your body is going to feel it. But on the other hand, once it changes, it will not bring you back there. And that is about becoming your higher self. That is about mastering who you really, really are. And I have always said from the very beginning, for me, it's not here to tell you, I don't know, how to keep you in a loop or sell you something and tell you that this is, no. Like I said, the YouTube demonetized the channel. Do you think I'm going to stop? No, I'm just grateful that we still have that platform. I can talk, I can share, I can connect, and then receive a message here and there where the people say, what you said changed my life. Thank you, God. Thank you. The encounter I had on Sunday with this beautiful Polish couple, I was overwhelmed with gratitude. I thought myself, if I would have never started that podcast, I might have been fighting against the signs and the soul, what it was telling to me. If I would have never packed my 5 suitcases and left the country and came to Cyprus. If I would have been sitting there and waiting for being chosen, waiting for the outcome the way I was imagining it. This magical moment, what I have now, based on this code, would have never happened. And I tell you, this beautiful, they were such beautiful people. And The same thing when I have calls with you, or when we meet on the retreats, or when we share some insights. They are priceless for me. And even if sometimes we cry, and sometimes we feel upset, and we feel that this is so unfair, why I have to go through that, then I know that your heart is going to open and you're going to experience something magical. But if we stay in a state of, I don't want to change, I don't want to get into this, and sometimes it's going to take time. I've always said for me it was 18 months of hell. 18 months of purely crucified hell. Do I wish that to someone? They say, yeah, go from here 18 months, cry every day, feel lost, feel no meaning, don't know who you are, feel like everything is falling apart from you. Yes, of course not. So when we talk about your aura, your frequency, your energy on this twin flame journey, we are not talking something mystical or that is not real. We are actually talking about real, measurable electromagnetic field. And we are talking about the code that you are progressing into the universe. Every single second, whether you are aware of it or not. Whether you say to me today, can care less about you and your twin flame code. That's not real. How do you talk about this? I will block them, I will remove them, because it causes me so much pain. But it's going to continue even if you block and remove. At least it did for me. We need to release. We need to shift that. And that's the reason I am very much thankful and grateful for the ancients who came up with the Kundalini techniques, with the energy of Kundalini, connecting to it. For me, it is a holy, it is from the heart, and I let it to guide. And where it's going to take me, God knows. I don't know. So let me just bring it up the whole day today. So let's just see it. As I said, your DNA is a code, your location is a code, your sound is a code, and every system you have ever entered has given you a code. Everywhere there is a code. And so are you. You are an electromagnetic being that you are. And numbers that you're seeing, they are not number like random. They are giving you the signs where you have to go. But you have two choices. You can keep receiving and wondering, or you can decide, I want to become fluent, I want to understand my frequency and step into that. And I want to bring it in here one more thing and that's also very important on Twin Flame Journey. Let's say your code is today, which I spoke about on the previous episodes, 550 hertz. You are in heart space, but your twin is somewhere in 300. You are not in the same frequent vibration, so you will not match. But you can drop down and you can match. So yes, that was today's episode. And actually I had this one of the example that happened to me another day. I don't know if shall I say that today about it? Let's keep that for the next episodes. What happened to me and how I realized that me thinking the good version of me is a reflection that is gonna harm or hurt. But I bring that for the next time. Anyways, my beautiful souls, it was an absolute pleasure, and I hope you understood a little bit of me and how I see the frequencies and how I see this twin flame journey overall. Again, I'm going to repeat that there is no scientific reason, or how do I say, but for me it is the more truth than anything else, and so far it has not let me down. Do I try to decode the universe and do I try to decode every single information? No, my idea of this journey is that you will learn to live where the code takes you. And we're gonna get the 717 into a full answer for individually, and I believe in collectively. If you have seen 717, I know many of you, I believe you are on the twin flame journey for the next stage. In that sense, it is a higher calling. For those of you, as I said, who would like to join us, we have this one spot because one soul unfortunately cannot at the moment join us so there's place is available. So twinflameawakeningjourney.com, meeting in Italy, and I will post on Instagram. I will post a little bit that you will see what can happen and what's going to be there. If you wish to join us, twinflameawakeningjourney.com, our workshops. If you didn't join today on the 31st, you can join the repeating one, or 14th of June. And as I said, there is a discount code for our beautiful Gemini sisters and brothers and everybody else, because that's who I am. That's what I'm gonna share with you. That's where my code came in on that time of being born. The very first code that was written on the paper, time of birth. And so you will have 11% discount over there. And that's it. Just to say very quickly that, as we know, I will be away in June for the retreat, and there are limited places for the sessions, so make sure that you all be taking this summer from the best heart, from the best place. Thank you so much for being here. I absolutely enjoy spending time with you, and I have a huge gratitude for you to listen. I hope it is helping you one way or another. Lots of love and lots of light.
With the summer heat. The world outside can't wait a few, 'cause right now we got nothing else to do. The sun is peeking through the cotton white blinds, your hands still tangled up in mine. Feet on the wall, your head on me, floating easy. We got nowhere to be, got nowhere to be. Your hair's a mess, but you don't mind. You just laugh, let it fall where it lies. Coffee's cold, but we take a sip, talk about nothing, let the morning slip. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that, feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that, feels like that. Yeah, it feels like